everyone, it's Kathy and welcome back here into my craft room and here on my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. So glad that y'all are here today because look at this cute little card we're going to make. I am usually not one of those people that's on the upside of what's trending, but this card is trending right now like crazy. So I wanted to kind of jump on the bandwagon, get in early on this before it's all over the internet. But anyway, this is called a Stadium Wave card. And let me show you. I got this little tucked in belly band to hold the card together because it is kind of a thick card, and you'll see that when I open it. I made this a Valentine's card, and I realize Valentine's is coming up very soon, but you could do this as a birthday card. You could do this as any kind of occasion card that you needed, but look at the Stadium Wave. Is that not precious? And it folds down perfectly into an A2 size card. You do have some thickness, so if you're mailing this, you may have to add a little extra postage, but it is doable. This is definitely doable. I love my little bees on this. You could do this using the cutest cows. You could use the ladybug. You could use the hedgehog. I'm just looking at the different ones that we have. The songbird. The cherry builder, you could do it with some clouds. It doesn't have to just be bees. It looks very complicated, but I promise you it is much easier than it looks. And I'm going to show y'all how to do this. So I'm going to lay this card out of my way just for a minute. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the mechanism to start with. So the mechanism, you're going to need a sheet of whatever color cardstock you want your mechanism to be. My card is going to be real red. I'm going to do this as a Valentine's card. Again, let me zoom y'all out just a little bit like that so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm debating on whether I want to do this in cherry cobbler. I'm going to put some mats inside. So I think I'm gonna go with this. I think I'm going to stay with the white. I think it's going to be fine. So I'm going to bring my trimmer in, and I'm going to trim this down to 7 by 10. So on my 11-inch side, I'm going to bring it over to 10, and I'm going to give that a slice. And then I'm going to turn it to my 8.5-inch side, and I'm going to line it up at 7. And I'm going to go ahead and give it another trim. Now this is what you're going to need for your mechanism piece, and you're probably thinking, okay, how are we going to do this? We're going to turn this back around on that 10-inch side, and we're going to score it at 4 inches. Make sure your cut blade is well out of your way, and give it a good score. Then we're going to bring it down to 8 inches. Give it another score. Then we're going to bring it to 8 3/4 and score it again. And then at 9 1/2. All the way down to 9 1/2. Making sure everything's lining up. Now we're going to raise our arm and we're going to turn this back to that 7-inch side, and we're going to cut 1-inch strips off of this. So just line it up, and I have a 1 inch on this side of my, let me close my arm up and I can kind of get this more centered. I have a 1 inch right over on this side of my scoreboard or my trimmer, and I'm going to line that up right there on that 1-inch line. Get that score blade out of my way, and then I'm just going to cut these in 1-inch pieces all the way across. When you finish, you should have 7 of these. 2. So what you're going to need to do now is we're going to do some folding on these. Remember the score lines that we did on those. Let's move that out of our way. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold it where that 4-inch score line is. Fold it over Then we are going to fold down and up and back. So when you finish, you're going to have like this little M. And what we're going to do is we're going to adhere this piece to that little 1/2-inch tab. And that's going to give you this little mechanism that looks like this. So when you finish, you will have 7 of these. So let me show you what it looks like when I glue it. You can use tear and tape on these if you like. I'm just going to use some liquid glue. I think my glue will hold this just fine. So I'm going to take my precision glue press and I am going to push that down just like that. Now, if you've got binder clips, like a little binder clip like this, you can put that on it or some of those little clothespins. Now, I found my binder clip kind of made an indentation on my cardstock, but that will hold it while you fold the next one. So fold it, and then you're going to fold down, up, and back, just like that. And then you're going to glue that piece to the top of that. So again, a little bit of glue. And glue that in. I'm going to make sure that they meet right at the top so they look like it's all one piece, just like that. Look, they look like little hearts almost, right? Okay, so that one's done. This one's done. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of these, and I'm going to make sure that everything is as straight as I can get it. I should use my bone folder because you do want these to be nice and straight. That one does look a little bit off, so train it. And then we're going to fold down, up, and down. So just remember, once you fold this one up to the little M piece, then you're going to fold that one to you, away from you, and then back to you. Just like that. So I'm going to fold the rest of these, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, all of my pieces have been constructed, and you can see what they look like. Now, what I did is I laid them all where the connector piece is to the back, so that that will be the part that gets glued down, and the other part that comes up is the actual fold. So, and you'll see why I did that, because we're going to glue our little piece on here, and it will cover up any imperfections back here. So, you know, you don't have to be perfect with this. You just want to get them down like, you know, put together just like I showed you. What we're going to do now is we're going to take some tear and tape. And I'm going to grab my roll of tear and tape. And this is my tear and tape. And what I want to do is I want to run a piece of tear and tape almost down the middle of each one of these. And I'm going to show you how that's going to work. I'm just going to take Where's my little block I use? I have an off-the-wall block. When I say it's off the wall, it's another brand, but it has a sharp edge, unlike our Stampin' Up! Blocks. And I use that to tear my parent tape with. So I'm going to come right about here, and I'm going to put that tape right down the side. Just like that. Use that little block. You can tear it with your fingers. You can use your scissors. However, this just works for me. And then I'm going to do this on each piece. And this is definitely a card that you'd want to make for someone that's very special. This is not a card that you would pop out as a mass-produced card, because there is some work in this card, but I think the payoff is well worth the work, especially if you're making it for someone special and they get this card and open it and it's like a wow factor, because it's going to pop out and do that little stadium wave that's so stinking cute, and especially depending on how you decorate it as to what pops out of your stadium. So it's just a stinking cute card. So we're down now to our third one. So again, I'm just going to run that tape like that. And And like this. And we're just about done. We're not going to put it on the last one, and I'll show you why. All right, we're going to go back over and grab our very first piece, and this is where your take your pick tool will definitely come in handy because it will help you lift up this backer on the tape, which can give you like a little extra hand. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put this down about halfway. And if you're paying attention to your edges, you want to try to keep this bottom edge as nice and straight as you possibly can. So as you're building this, be mindful of that bottom edge, keeping it straight across there. So then pick up the backer off of the next piece. And then lay this one down. Give it a good rub after you do that to make sure everything's adhering. And then let's pick this one up. And then lay this one down. Give it a press. And then we're going to lift this one up. And then we're going to lay this one down. And you see the gist of it. It's just laying them about halfway over. They're 1-inch pieces, so you want to lay it in right about a 1/2 inch. Like that. And then we do this one. And lay that down like that. And our last one is going to go in the same way, but just with no adhesive on it. Just like that. So this is going to be your mechanism, and you can see how it's going to fan out. So you can lay this to the side, and now we're going to pull in our actual card base. For the card base, I got a piece of real red cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm going to bring up my scoreboard, and I'm going to lay this in on the 11-inch side. Let's get that trash out of my way. All the way up into that left-hand corner, and I'm going to score this at 5 1/2. I am going to go ahead now, and we're going to work on the inside of this card and what we're going to do to the front. So let's go ahead and give it a good burnish so everything lays nice and flat. I'm going to do that on both sides. And the first thing I want to do is I want to put down some designer series paper. This is from the pack that is called Most Adored, and this is a free pack that you can get in Celebration. It is a beautiful, beautiful pack. It's gold foiled on one side and a beautiful pattern on the other. And we've got some plaids in both gold and then we got some hearts, more flowers. There's more hearts there. It's a beautiful pack of paper, and we're going to use this piece right here, and I'm going to cut this down to 4 1/4. I mean 4 by 5 1/2, and I'll tell you why I'm going to do the 5 1/2. Normally I would do 5 1/4, but I think this is already at 4. It is. So we're going to cut this at 5 1/2, and I think I'm going to cut this end off. 5 1/2, right about there. And then I want to have the top part of this to be more prominent than the bottom. So I'm going to come down to about 3 1/2, maybe 3 1/4. Yeah, we'll do 3 1/4 and cut this in two. And look what we have. We're going to actually put this piece at the bottom and this piece at the top. And I left that 1/4 inch in there so that we could lap them over so that they're seamless. So I'm going to take this piece first, and I'm going to put some glue on the back. And I'm going to lay this down. And when you're using two different pieces of cardstock, you want to try your very best to get your borders the same. So when I lay this one down, I want to make sure that it goes from that side to that side. So I'm going to use my bone folder and just kind of get away from, get rid of that little rolled up area that comes from where we cut our paper. It does kind of roll right there. So I'm going to take this piece and put some glue on the back. Just like that. And then I'm going to lay this down, making sure that I'm getting it from side to side. Just like so. Isn't that cute? And that's exactly what I did on this one. And see how cute it is? And we're going to come back and we're going to cut from our scallop contours. We're going to cut that piece out and we're going to put that on the top. But before we do, I want to go back in because I want to decorate the inside. And I think I'm going to use that pink heart paper. So let's see. We've got another piece of it right here. So I'm going to cut a mat that is 4 inches. So I'm going to bring my paper trimmer in, and I'm going to cut this at 4. I love using paper when it's free. It just, I don't know. So I want to cut 2 of these, but these I want them to be 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut that at 5 1/4. And then I'm going to cut this one at 5 1/4. And these are going to go on the inside of our card. So when we open up our card, I want it to carry through with this beautiful designer series paper inside as well. So that's going to go there and that's going to go right there. So let's go ahead and put glue on the back and get it in. The hard part of this card is not the mechanism. It's the time-consuming part of making all of your little pieces to go inside of it. So that's what we're going to work on after we finish the front. And I'm going to show you, it is a lot of fun though. If you love stamping and designing, you are going to absolutely love making this card. So I'm going to press that down. I'm just giving that a good burnish to make sure that glue gets pressed out in all directions. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. And I am going to lay this right here. Give it a press. And then I'm going to come back in and do the same thing with that bone folder, just pressing that glue out in all directions. So now we have the base of our card is done. Let's work on the front of our card now. So the front of our card, I need my stylish shape dies. And that's these right here. And I'm going to use the next to the largest. So it's going to be this one. And let's see, did I pull out a piece of white? I don't think I did. I'm going to look in my scrap bin because I know I've got scraps. Let's see if that will fit. I do believe I can get this one to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of, I use these all the time. These are my favorite, the Post-it flags, and they come in this little thing, and it grips to the bottom of, to your desk so you can pull them up with one hand, which is, to me, crucial when you're die cutting. I love the tape, but the tape, you need 2 hands to pull it. These you don't, because this has a little suction cup on the bottom, and it just sucks to wherever you put it. You can slide it off and then move it wherever you need it to go. But I love that. So I'm going to put this on my die cut machine. Bring up my big boy. Grab my plates. And I have my number 1 plate, my number 2 die adapter plate, a number 3 cut plate, and a number 3 cover plate. So I'm just going to go ahead and crank that through. Just like that. I think that may be the only thing we have to die. I don't know. I might end up die cutting some little labels to go in there, but we'll come back to our machine if that's the case. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off and pop that out. Now I save these. I stick them over on the side of my die cut machine so that they're there for my next use, because you can get a lot more use out of those than one. They're not a one-trick pony. So I use them over and over until they just don't stick anymore. So here is our piece. So the first thing I want to do is I want to do a little ink blending because I want that top to look like the sky. So I'm going to pull in my balmy blue. And I'm going to ink this up, and I think I'm going to grab just a piece of old cardstock that I'd use for something else. This is a great way to use up pieces that you think are no good, but you can always keep them for ink blending and things like that. So I'm just going to come across the top of that with some nice little swirling motions. Give myself a nice sky. And then I want it to go gradual down to a lighter blue. And come back up, and I want to hit right in here a little bit more just to build that color. And I think that is perfect, just like that. So we've got that done. So let's move our brush and our paper. Now we need to do some stamping on this. So I want to look at that stamp set. And this is my Valentine stamp set. And I want to stamp these 2 little stems with the flowers. And we're going to put flowers on it. We're also going to be stamping our bee, the wings, the faces, our little, the little stitch line that looks like he's flying. We're going to do all of that, and we're going to build everything on this one piece, part of this on one piece. So let's do this. Let's grab our green apple green. And these are my little stems, and I already have them loaded on a block. So I'm going to ink those up. And I'm going to stamp right about here. Get a nice press like that. And I'm going to turn it over and grab the other one that's going in the opposite direction. And I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to stamp this one right there. Like that. Okay, so we got that done. And I think for my flowers, I did the other one in Bubble Bath, and I don't think they were dark enough. So this time I think I'm going to use my Berry Burst. I want something that will stand out a little bit more with my flowers than what I had earlier. So I'm going to do one of these little flowers. Let me take this one off so I can see that one. Oh, so pretty. And I'm going to do another one right here. I love that. And I'm going to bring this piece back up that I used to stamp because I want to pick up this flower, but I want to stamp off. Oops, didn't get that very good, did I? Get off. I think I like it better straight on. I'm going to put one right about here. Like the petals have kind of fallen. maybe one right about there. Then I want to take my little line, and we're going to do that in our black. And for that, I am going to use my VersaFine Onyx Black. It's a pigment ink. And this is not a Stampin' Up! Product, but you can find it in my online store if you're interested. And let's see, do I want to put that on there? I want to wait. Let me wait and get my B. I think I'm going to wait till I get my B. That'd be a good thing. So we'll hold off on that. Let's cut some B's. So for my B's, I'm going to grab some strips of Daffodil Delight. And these are just some scraps that I pulled out, and they're 8.5 by 2. It doesn't matter as long as your punch will fit and you can get the body of your bumblebee. See what I mean? So as long as I can get my body right there, that's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to take that same VersaFine Black Onyx Black because I like that. It covers really well. And I'm going to grab the body of my little bumblebee, the stripes. And by stamping it on the Daffodil Delight, we don't have to stamp twice. I think this is so neat. So I'm going to stamp here. Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to come up and stamp right here. And again here. You want to give yourself enough of space in between that you can get the circle part of the body as well. And I think I can get one more on here, right about here. So there are 4 of our bodies, and I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to need 7, so I need 3 more. So I'm going to do one right here. Here. Here, and for good measure, I'll just go ahead and stamp one more. Now, you never know if you mess one up. So there's 4 more. So there is our bumblebee. So let's go ahead and punch him out, and then we'll come back in and do our wings. So now we want to make sure we're holding the punch the same way that you have them stamped. So when you bring it into your punch, you can line everything up like so. And punch. Bring it down. And punch. Bring it down and do the same thing all the way across. With this particular one, I need to trim that off just a little bit. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. And I'm going to take just a 1/4 inch off from this side. That's just so I can wiggle it down in there and make sure that I'm getting it completely around the bumblebee. So there are, did I knock one on the floor? I think I did. It's 4. I dropped another one on the floor, but that's okay. We got it. So make sure I don't have any crumbs in my punch. And we can just throw all of this in the trash. We got all of our cute little bees now. So we're going to want some of them to go this way, and some to go that way, and some to go up and down. So we need to decide what bees we want to go which way. So I'm going to do 4 like that, a couple like that, and maybe 2 more like this. or maybe up and down. So now we can go ahead and stamp our little faces. And to do that, I am going to take my black. Let's see if I put all my faces back in. I did. I have the one with the little closed eyes, so I'm going to stamp that one. And I'm going to put him right here. I love that one. And I'm going to do a couple of these. Okay. So now I need another stamp block. All right, let's smooth out the ones we've done. And let's get this one's cute. This one's a smiley one. Eyes wide open. So we'll do one like that. And one like this. And like that. Okay. And then I think I'm going to save the other one. I've got the little winky eye. And we'll line him up on this one. Cute. And cute. How precious are those? So now we have gotten their faces on. Let's do a little bit more detail on their little cheeks. So I'm going to take my bubble bath. Because I think our little bees need some rosy cheeks. So I'm going to grab an untraditional tool, and that's a Q-tip. And we're going to give these cute little bumblebees some rosy cheeks. So here, and here. Aren't those precious? I think they're so cute like that. And then this one. And how easy is that to do? So quick, so easy, and yet it adds a great deal of personality to our little bees. So those are done. So now we need to do the wings. And the wings are simply going to be done out of some petal pink. And again, I've got some pieces like this, and I'm going to look at the direction that I need to put this in. So I know that I need to stamp close to the bottom, and they need to be facing in that direction. So I'm going to grab my wings. And I'm doing these in very burst on the petal pink paper. I think it just gives a little bit more definition to the wings than doing the tone on tone. And I like it. I think it just looks pretty. So I'm going to load that up on a block, ink it up, and I'm going to stamp. Now, I did learn something in doing the first one of these. With these, you want to start on this end, because if you start over here, you're going to punch some of your other pieces that you don't want to. So just start over on your left-hand side, and that way you'll be able to get all of these in something like, oops, we need to move that ink pad. Let's close that ink pad up before we get our hand in it or something that doesn't belong there. All right, so now back to our wings. And then we'll do this one. And those are 1, 2, 3, 5 of our wings. So we need to do a few more. So I'm going to grab the ink again and my stamp. I'm going to go down the other side of this piece of paper. I think we can get those in here. I got that one, but we might not need that one after all. All right, so let's go ahead and punch these. These don't have to be perfect because we're going to put them where part of it's going to be behind the body of the bee. So you don't have to stress over it. All right, so we got all of that one cut. So let's collect all of those and get our trash out of the way. Now we need our little hearts for our antennas. So I have the antenna right here, and I'm going to look how this would punch. If I put this in, it's going to punch upside down. So I need this to go like that. So I'm going to, that's one thing anytime you use them punch, make sure you watch for the orientation, how your punch is going to punch out. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to do one like that. And I'm going to give it a trial run just to make sure it's going to work. Perfect. Perfecto. Look how cute those wings are going to be. All right, so now I know that I can go ahead and stamp the rest of these in that orientation. Okay, there goes our little antennas, but I think I lost one, so hopefully we won't need it. If we do, we'll stamp another one. Okay, so now our little bees are ready to put together. So I want to decide which one I want for my front. And I think for my front one, I want this one. So I'm going to put his wings here and on the other side. And I'm going to do that with just adding a little glue on both sides. And take a wing and a wing. Put those on like that. Then we have our little antenna that can go right at the top. So again, just a little tiny bit of glue and this. I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to assemble the rest of these just like this. The little bees that are going sideways are only going to get one set of wings like that, but the ones that are facing frontwards like this one will get 2 sets. So, and they all get antenna. I'll be right back. All right, as you can see, we have all of our little bees together. Everybody's got wings, everybody's got antenna, and we're ready now to start assembling our card. What we need to do is decide where we want this little guy to go. We're going to pop him up on dimensionals and grab my dimensionals, and I'm going to put one on each wing, and then maybe one here and one at the bottom of the little tail. That'll be plenty to hold him on. And I'm thinking I might put him like that because I want to see where I want my trail to go. And I think I want my trail to come off like this. So I'm going to stamp that right about there. So what I need to do is grab my black. And again, I want to put him right about there. I want the trail to come from right about here. Just like that. And if you wanted to, you could do another one off this way. All you got to do is connect them. Something like that. And then we can take our little bee and put him just like that. Oh, that's adorable. I love it. So now we can take our backers off. And I'm going to sit him about like that. And do we have room to stamp B9 right here? It'll be precious. So I'm going to stamp that in black. A little play on words here with the B9. Oh, so cute. All right. So now we are ready to put this on our card. I'm going to pop it up just because I want to have the space underneath it to run that belly band. Oh, before I go any further, I got a little piece of red scrap, so I'm going to punch out a couple of these little hearts because I want a heart like right about there. Isn't that cute? I think that's adorable. And we're just going to put a little dab of glue on the back and then stick the little heart like that. Oh, so precious. All the little things that you do to your cards like this is what makes them just really pop out. I'm going to turn that over. Yeah, I got a little ink on there, but nobody will see that. We're going to put some dimensionals on the back. So I'm going to put one in each corner. And I know that my belly band is going to go through the middle, so I'm going to put one here and one here. That should not have any problem with the belly band sliding in there, but it will kind of help anchor our card a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these off. And now we're ready to set this down right in the middle of our card base. Something like that. Isn't that cute? That's cute all by itself. But we haven't even put our stadium mechanism in. So this is what goes in next. Now, you're probably thinking, this is the hard part. Actually, this is probably the easiest part of the card. Stamping all the bees was the hard part. We are going to use some double-sided tape. And I'm going to get some that's a little bit wider. And I'm going to put a good amount of this on the back, this very first one. And let's tear it. And then I'm going to bring another piece over, just like that. And I want to run a piece right down the middle. I want this piece to make sure that it's very, very secure. Like that. And we'll turn it over, and on this piece over here, we put it on this piece on one side, flip it, and on the piece where there was no connectors, that's where you want to put your double-sided tape. So I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to run it as close to the edge as I can. And then I'm going to bring the other piece all the way over to this side as far as I can. And tear. And then I'm going to run a piece down the middle. So cute. Now what you want to do is lay it in like this, and you want to make sure that your card can close over it, and that looks perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off my backers. So I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to kind of help me lift these up. Making sure I'm leaving the adhesive behind. And once I get that up, I'm just going to fold this over. Give it a good press. Turn it over. And now we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to pull these pieces up. And then we're going to fold this side, back side, down. Just like that. Give it a good press. And voila. So pretty. So, oh, goes like this. Oh, did I do it backwards? No, it can go either way. So now we have the mechanism in here. All we have to do is decorate with our little bees. So we can do a bee right here. That one looks cute right there. So I'm going to take some glue and I'm going to put glue right on that piece and set my bee down right there. Then this will be my next one. So I think I want a bee that's going off in this direction. So again, I'm going to put glue just on the tail end of my bee. And set him down like that. You just want to make sure that your fold line does not impede the bee or whatever design you're using on yours. So now we need one going in this direction. So we'll put him flying up like that. So a little bit of glue right here. And then we need one right here. And I think another one, maybe this one going in that direction. Now we need one here. And I think this one will be cute right there, like that. So I'm going to put a little glue right there on the bottom portion. Very good. And then we need one more. Let's do this one going in this direction like that. So I'm going to put it on the tail end. And then we need one more right here. So this one I'm going to put glue there and set that one right about there. So now when everything closes, everything goes together. Look how cute. Isn't that adorable? And this card will sit up like this, so it can easily be displayed. So that, and I just think it's adorable. The only thing we have left to do with this card is put some sentiments in it. And that's what we're going to do next. So let me clean off my desk and pull the sentiments and the dies that I want to use, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back and I'm ready now to stamp the sentiments and also show you how to put the belly band on. I have a piece of cardstock here that is 1.5 inches by 11. And what I did to find my folds is I slid it into my card like this. And once I got it all the way in where I wanted it, I wrapped it to the back. Now we are going to wrap this eventually to the front, but this gave me my score line. I didn't want it to be wrapped super tight. I wanted it to be snug, And this overlap is exactly what we want, but not in the back. So we're going to take this off and we're going to put it back on, but this time we're going to slide this part in and then this part in, feeding it through just like that. And once you do that, then your belly band is going to come together in the middle, just like that. And that's going to hold your card together. It's not going to fly open. It will hold it, and it's all just tucked like that. And you're probably saying, well, how's somebody going to know how to open it? You can put a little note on it, or you can put a little sticker or something that says open here. But this will just pull out like this and come off, and then your lovely card opens that way. So the only thing we have left to do is to do our sentiments. So what I want to do, I have a little strip of basic white cardstock. I'm going to grab my red ink, and I've got two sentiments from the stamp set. The Be My Valentine that says Happy Valentine's Day, and one that says You'll Always Be the One for Me. So those are the two sentiments I want to use. And I'm going to hand cut these, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the Happy Valentine's Day is right here. So I'm going to stamp it first. And I'm stamping it in red ink. So Happy Valentine's Day. And I'm going to stamp it kind of over to the side and top of this piece. About like that. Very good, because we're going to trim that out, so it doesn't matter. Now the next one, I'm going to ink it up. And I'm going to stamp it further over to this side. Or do I want to do it this way? I think I'm going to do it this way. Come over as close as you can to that one. And about like that. Give it a good stamp. Close our ink pad. And now I can take my scissors and I can cut this. So what I want to do is I want to cut this straight up like that. And then this one, I want to check and see how long I need it to be. And I do need that to be cut off just a little bit. So I'm going to take maybe about 3/8 of an inch off of it. And I'm going to cut in straight in the middle to make my own little ribbon cut. So I cut into about there. So then I'm going to go from the corner up to that cut. And then I'm going to do the same thing from this corner up to the cut. That gives me the perfect little piece that I'm going to need. That's going to go right here. Isn't that pretty? Gives it a little decorative edge, but you know, it doesn't take away from the stadium fold, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want that to do. So now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this out. So I'm just going to fussy cut around my letters. Just like that. So now that piece is cut and ready to go in. So all we have to do now is just glue this in right here at the top, just like that. Let me grab some glue. Like so. And then glue that in right here, just like that. Give it a press. And then this piece is going to go right down here, about like that. So again, I'm going to take some liquid glue. Oops, my glue wouldn't come out and then it came out too fast. And that's okay, as long as we got glue on it, that's going to hold it. That's what matters. So I'm going to bring this over and set it down even with that mat and give it a press. And there is our card. Now, if we wanted to do a little bit more embellishment on the front, I would say maybe a couple of these little sequins would be pretty. Just to put like on our flowers. These aren't sequins, I'm sorry, these are rhinestones. Maybe there and there. I love that. We'll do the larger one right there on that flower. And right there on that one. So pretty. Isn't that a gorgeous card? I love the gold. I love the bling. I love the stadium fold. I think it's beautiful. And it was so easy. I promise you that if you sit down and follow my video step by step, you'll be able to do this card just as easily as I did. It's not a hard card. It just takes time. This is one of those cards that you're going to invest some time in, but it's not hard to do. And there's our little belly band. And that is that card completed. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. And yes, for once, I'm on the cutting edge of something that is taking the internet by storm, the stadium card. God bless and keep you, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you're interested in any of the products I used in the video today, check out my online store from Stamping Up. You can choose any of these products. And remember, right now, if you want to sign up with Stamping Up, you do not have to do what I do. You can be a kit snatcher. You can get a glass mat with a silicone tray and a cleaning cloth, totally free. With this month, with the celebration, it ends the 29th of this month, so you only got a few more days or a couple of weeks left to take advantage of that. Plus, you also get to pick out $125 worth of product, and you only pay $99 free shipping plus your local sales tax. It is a great bargain. So if you have a wish list that's at least $100, what have you got to lose? And you get the free glass mat. And I'm telling you, this is not the glass mat that Stamping Up has. This is one that I had purchased myself prior to the offer. But had I not had one, I would have jumped on it. Anyway, God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Savior Jesus. He is worthy. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.